Okay, y'all asked for it. I'm here. Let's go ahead and get into it. What's going on for my late night bloomers? It's your boy Big Drew here with an episode of Daily Gigs. I wanted to go a little in depth today with a little bit of DoorDash. Now, I posted stats a while back, basically, giving my interpretation or my advice or basically my knowledge as far as the rewards tier program for DoorDash. So, as those who knows who DoorDash on the platform, you have 3 tiers, obviously being a 0 tier or no tier. Then you go into level 1, which is silver tier. Then you go into level 2, which is gold tier. Then you go into level 3, which is the top status, platinum tier. Platinum tier has basically the same perks and bennies that Top Dasher used to have. There's a few similarities, there's a few differences, but the main difference between what Top Dasher used to be and Platinum Dasher is now is Platinum Dasher does not have the ability to dash anytime, which was a feature with Top Dasher. Top Dasher, regardless of schedule, you're available to dash anytime. I like that perk, but I understand because if there's X and O's amount of people on the platform doing the same thing you're doing, it's going to get overly saturated, so I can understand. And then you'll never get orders because everybody's out here doing what they got to do. So, as you know, with silver, gold, platinum, basically, when you unlock each reward tier, you get perks and bennies. And then all the perks that come with the previous tier, that will transfer over to the new tier. Now, one of the tips and tricks I will say from my experience is this goes back to the video I mentioned about cherry picking. Cherry picking, if you have a rhythm, you have a method, you have a recipe, you have a formula, you have whatever you want to call it, a way to cherry pick while maintaining your status as a platinum dasher, then by all means go for it. But I feel like for those that, especially if you're a silver tier, use this time to work on your acceptance rate. Build that up, because out of all the ratings, to me personally, the acceptance rate is the easiest to fix. It's the customer rating that becomes challenging. So what I usually do is I take the time to message each customer right before I drop off their order. Nothing complicated about it, and most times they'll automatically leave you 5 stars if you ask them. But to me, it's the acceptance rate that everyone needs to work on, because depending on your market, that's the biggest flaw, because we're always bound to accept the higher paying orders, or at least the orders that make sense based on per mile. I don't know if that necessarily plays a role as a platinum dasher, because there's a lot of people that voice their opinions in different threads and different posts and different statuses that you don't need to be platinum status to make money with DoorDash. No, that's absolutely true. You don't need to be platinum status. The only thing about platinum status that I like, that I feel like is a necessity, is the scheduling. That's the only main reason that you would need to attain and maintain platinum status, is because of the scheduling. You need to be able to schedule yourself out. If you can't regulate a schedule, you will struggle. Don't matter how busy one town, zone, city, state gets. It's not going to be an everyday, all day thing. Understand that. So everyone that feels like their market is paying off better, even if you're not a platinum dasher or you're not settling your schedule all the way out in advance, fine. This video's not for you. This is for everyone that's looking for ways to get on the platform, because the more hours you have, the better chance you have of making money. I guess that's the best way to put it. There's really no other way around it. You can cherry pick, you can do whatever you got to do. That's fine. But I feel like in today's time, and especially the majority of everyone's zones, especially here in California, you have to maintain your status as a platinum dasher if you want to ensure that you make decent money out here. Just because you have the stats, you have to maintain it. And maintaining it is all the ratings: your customer rating, your acceptance rate, your delivery amount of like how many deliveries you do per 30 days. You have to have at least 100. And then, of course, the biggest one is you have to make sure your completion rate doesn't fall below 97. A lot of times you pick an order takes too long. What does most dashers do? They go and unassign it. And when they unassign it, most times if they don't wait the 10-minute period, the order will affect their completion rate. And obviously, if your completion rate drops below 90, you're at risk of deactivation. But if you're below 97, then you lose your platinum status because that's a requirement for platinum status. I think you can still be a gold, but if that works in your zone, by all means. For me, my experience, I feel like platinum status is what you need because of the scheduling. You're able to schedule yourself out 6 days in advance, then it will always work in your favor. Even if you don't have the appropriate time to, let's say, schedule yourself out, and then let's say something happens, and then the day you schedule yourself, you can't work. How I do my scheduling is very simple. I'm scheduled out all day. But do I work all day? Most times, no. But I set myself that schedule so I have the ability to jump in when I am available, if that makes sense. So if I set my schedule basically from 8 a.m. to 10 p.m., which is typically my bracket for my job for the day, and that's with any platform. I'm usually out and about. I'm outside around 8 o'clock doing my thing. And depending on how the day goes, I'm usually in the house by 10. Because I got a family to take care of. And I'm at that age where I appreciate sleep as I get older. But anywho, just like another thing they won't tell you, speaking of scheduling, they rotate the scheduling time. Every 2 weeks. I've been monitoring, mind you. I have to regulate my schedule for doing content. If I don't regulate my schedule when I do content, then it's impossible for me to do content because I won't have it in the sense of time to work for me to manage timing for other stuff in my personal life, and then of course with the deliveries and whatnot. So one thing they don't tell you with the scheduling is they rotate it. It used to be, okay, I wouldn't say used to, it still is, but this is what the rotating part I'm talking about. Every day after 3 p.m., I don't know if it's in every state, every city, but here in California, after 3 p.m., the schedule opens up. And you got seconds to set your schedule up in your zone, or you're going to have a difficulty starting at the time you want. But here's what they don't tell you. Every 2 weeks, they rotate the system scheduling. So for the 2 weeks that it goes on at 3 p.m. was when the schedule unlocks. After 2 weeks, they change the time. Now it's no longer at 3 p.m. And what I did was, because I like to make sure I'm on top of these things, I set my alarm off for every hour and I checked it. And then eventually it came to midnight. And I did that for 2 weeks. Not the alarm thing, but set my schedule up at midnight. So recently, they just changed it back to midnight. Before, it was recently changed to 3 p.m. 2 weeks ago. And for the last 2 weeks, I was setting my schedule up at 3 p.m. Now they changed it back to midnight. So I don't know if this is accurate or not, don't quote me, but based on what I've been seeing and my knowledge and everything I'm seeing visually, every 2 weeks, they set the schedule at 3 p.m. And then after that, they rotate and they set the scheduling at midnight. And I think, in my opinion, is to keep spam, bot users, and all the people that abuse the platform ways to snag shifts and blocks that makes it difficult for everybody else. Because for me, I feel like this platform should be fair for everybody. But just like with Amazon Flex, just like with Spark, just like with Instacart, people use modified devices, gadgets, whatever you want to call it, to alterate how the system puts orders out, which makes it difficult for decent paying orders to go to people that actually deserve it because of the algorithm and whatnot. That's how it is. I don't know if that applies to every platform, but all I know is they wouldn't be coming up with all these different measurements or drastic measures and tactics if it wasn't for that. But anyways, that's basically what I wanted to cover. So I feel like if you feel that this platform is not for you because it's so BS in your area, the only things I could say is just take a scenery. Take a change of scenery. If you work in one zone, go to another zone. It may sound crazy, but you never know. Sometimes it's a hit or miss, but for you, I pray it's a hit. But that's basically it. Finishing up my shift tonight, actually. I'm going to have more content posting soon for both DailyGigs and Dashathon. Just been busy doing other stuff, and I had a lot of edits to do, so it's made it harder for me to record new material because I do everything off of my phone. So it's very challenging for me to be able to. That's basically it. As always, I'm going to keep grinding, and y'all stay shining. I'm going to catch y'all in the next one, all right? Good night, y'all. Boop.